We wanted to establish a new missions partner for Living Hope so that we can go back time and time again to serve the people there, and also establish relationships with the coffee shop and the coffee farmer and the coffee farmers there to bring back good coffee for 901 Roasted and really truly make it a missional coffee sourcing company.
901 Roasted was founded by Andrew and Savannah Banker back in 2016. Their focus has been bringing the freshest, highest quality coffee to the forefront of a coffee cup near you. Hi, and welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint. I'm Byron Tyler, and today we're actually on the road, and we're coming to you from a very happy place. It's Happy Glaze Donuts in Germantown. I'm here with my dear friend Rachel Davis. She and her husband Ryan started this place, and we're going to find out more about Happy Glaze Donuts. Rachel Davis, thank you for inviting me to your happy place.
Yeah, Byron, we love guests here at Happy Glaze. We want this place to be a gathering place for friends, for family. So we're excited to be live with you today.
Yeah, this is exciting. We got somebody we want to introduce. It's a friend of yours,
Yes.
Andrew Banker, who I just mentioned, who is the founder of 901 Roasted. We want to talk about this partnership that Happy Glaze Donuts has and 901 Roasted has, because really this is where you operate from. Is that right, Andrew?
That's correct.
It's where all the action happens for 901 Roasted.
Yes, I roast here, bag coffee here, and Ryan serves it here. So this has been the home of 901 Roasted. And luckily Ryan can share a little bit of the back with me.
Isn't this relationship, did it start where you guys went to church together? Is that right? Is that how you first met?
Andrew and his wife Savannah, both of our respective families attend Living Hope. They were already at Living Hope when we brought our family there and became instant friends. His wife Savannah is a very close friend of mine. We all types of shenanigans together. We laugh and raise kids and just do life together.
Okay, we have to stop right now. I just tasted. Ryan made me a pour over. While Rachel was talking, I had to have a sip for our radio audience. We're also videoing this for YouTube. Oh my goodness, that's my new crack, okay? No, seriously. Ryan, thumbs up, double thumbs up. Thank you so much. Delicious tasting coffee. So, Andrew, when did you first become interested in coffee and decide to make a business out of it?
So back in 2016, my brother-in-law introduced me to a fresh roasted coffee taste. And before then, I never really enjoyed coffee. And it was just a different taste. And being newlyweds and in an apartment at the time, or in a new house at the time, we wanted to find that good taste on a low budget. So I did a lot of research, and my brother-in-law had a gas grill, and I ordered a popcorn popper off Amazon. And so we put the green beans inside the popcorn popper on the gas grill to cook them. And so you crank the whole time, making sure the beans are moving. And that's what gets them to the temperature to have the first crack. And that's a fresh roasted coffee.
Wow. I would have never have guessed that you could do that. Rachel.
I did not know this. The origin story is new to me, Byron. I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah. So is there a difference between roasters? I mean, because I don't know how many roasters are in our city here. And you look around everywhere where there's coffee, and there's you have to roast it to get coffee in the process to make it. Is there a difference in the way you roast it?
Yes, there are differences. It's more of the kind of roaster that you use. I have a drum roaster which just spins the beans, and it was actually custom built from a turkey rotisserie. So it's more of a custom coffee roaster than anything. It's definitely one of a kind. But that's what I use here at Happy Glaze.
And as I mentioned, Happy Glaze, this is really a unique place itself when we talk about the product that's served here. Now, when I say donuts, your mind can go a lot of different ways. We're not going to name any brand names. When I say donuts, you might have your favorite donut place, okay? This is almost like the gourmet donut, really. I mean, it's unique. It's so unique because they're not like this full-size round donut that you feel guilty eating. You can eat these donuts and not feel guilty because there's no calories, right, Rachel?
Yes. No. I'm going to say yes for the sake of the show.
No, actually, we know that's not true. But you don't roast your donuts, but you prepare them in this mini style, right?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So they're not a typical yeast donut. So, everyone asks, do you have to get there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning like everyone else? Thank goodness, no. We do not have to get here that early. They don't have to rise like yeast donuts, so we don't need as much space in our kitchen. And they're just super fun, little donuts. And they're fresh made, hot hot and fresh when you order them.
Yeah.
So they don't sit around all day just basking in a case like other donuts. And we glaze them with there's so many different types of ways that you can get your Happy Glaze donuts. My favorite is the French toast, but secret menu tip here, Byron. Order the French toast Rachel's way. It's the best.
Rachel's way. So
Yeah.
make sure you say that when you talk to Ryan or one of your children who might be behind the counter.
That's absolutely right.
When you walk in. But unique toppings, flavors like Fruity Pebbles, Oreo, coffee, and lemon. Now the s'mores, you've got these warm donuts that are topped with chocolate glaze, marshmallow, fluff glaze, and crushed graham crackers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that legal? I don't know if that's even legal, is it? And there's also, as you mentioned, the cinnamon roll. Warm donuts that are topped with the Happy Glaze, cream cheese glaze, and cinnamon sugar. Now, what makes the Rachel's Way different?
Okay, so the Rachel's Way is when you order the French toast donut. So typically your French toast donut has the maple glaze, and then it's dusted with the cinnamon sugar and then topped with powdered sugar. But, right, because I love French toast, and whenever I make French toast at home, I add vanilla to it. So I add our just glazed and the maple glaze and cinnamon sugar and just a light sprinkle of powdered sugar. So it's just a little twist on it,
Okay.
but it gives it a little bit of a different flavor profile.
And so how long do you have to sit down before you can actually get up and walk after eating that? I mean, I can imagine, the sugar level there has got to take you to a new horizon or
You
something.
might need a nap.
Might need a nap after that. It sounds delicious. Back in 2019, this permanent location started here. I believe it started as a food truck originally.
Yeah, and what's one unique thing about this place is Andrew's family actually was the one who brought the food truck in originally, so he could actually probably speak to that better than I could.
Yeah, so it started with a food truck.
It started with a food truck. As they prepped this space, they wanted to get the word out that there are many donuts in town. And so they started doing events and had a food truck that was wrapped. It looked like the Happy Glaze logo. For a while, they would be just in the parking lot around the corner, just so people know that there are many donuts coming to town.
And that was where it all began.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, again, it's a new concept in donuts. There are gluten-free donuts, in case you're wondering if you're health-conscious folks out there, too, want to know about that. What's the difference? So we talk about coffee, Andrew. What's the difference about coffee beans, say, Mexico compared to other Central and South American countries? Is there a difference?
There is a difference. So the quality of the soil, the altitude, and the way the cherry of the coffee tree is processed will all give a unique flavor and note to the coffee you drink.
Interesting.
I did not realize that. So what is your specialty Mexican coffee? Because I know you've got one.
Yes. So the specialty Mexican coffee, I brought that back from a mission trip we took about a month ago. We went down to Xalapa, Mexico, and they focus on a specialty coffee. And so the agricultural engineer that I met, who spoke only Spanish, so the translation was it was definitely fun to communicate with him.
Okay, so how did you even know to go to Xalapa, Mexico? I mean, of all places, you went to Xalapa. I mean, I've
Yes.
never even heard of Xalapa, Mexico.
So Xalapa found a coffee shop there that was connected to a church plant. The church plant was in the same network as our church. And so,
Which is called the Acts 29 concept
Yes.
of ministry. And I kind of want to talk about that for a second, too, because I think this is kind of unique. What is Acts 29?
So Acts 29 is a church planning church concept. Here in the States, whether it's here or in Central Mexico, they focus on constantly planting new churches to spread the gospel.
Churches are being planted all over the world with this concept. And it's biblical, Rachel.
Yes. What I love about our church is that we are so missions focused. We believe that the gospel, everyone needs the gospel. we think that it's a beautiful reflection of what heaven is going to be like. All tribes, tongues, nations are going to be represented. And so that means that we're tasked with going to all of these places and sharing the love of Christ. And that's what I love about Andrew's coffee business, is that he uses it as a way in to make relationships with these local farmers and growers and their communities and their families to impact for Christ.
Andrew, what is the spiritual barometer for the church in Mexico, and particularly to the area where you're ministering right now?
What's really unique about this church, it was started in the coffee shop that I got connected to down there. And it started about 6 years ago inside the coffee shop, and it's grown to about 150 people maybe.
Okay.
And the church planner and his brother run the coffee shop. The church planner also has a leather making company. So a really unique story down there that they use to connect with the community there through the coffee shop and through the leather company that he works with. They're able to reach a new dynamic of people that typically would not be in the church.
What is the population of the community where you're going there?
So Xalapa is a pretty concentrated city. They described it as the coffee country of Mexico. Mm-hmm. There are more coffee shops in that location than anywhere else in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And geographically, where is it in conjunction with Mexico City, would you say?
Mexico City would be about 4 hours away. Looking at the map, Mexico City, you would drive southeast about 4 hours and you'd hit Xalapa.
Okay. Now, back in May of this year, I understand that you, your wife, Savannah, and also another member of Living Hope Church, Alan May, traveled to Xalapa.
Yes.
And what was your intentions and what was some of the work you did when you went?
So we wanted to establish a new missions partner for Living Hope so that we can go back time and time again to serve the people there, and also establish relationships with the coffee shop and the coffee farmer and the coffee farmers there to bring back good coffee for 901 Roasted and really truly make it a missional coffee sourcing company.
How were you received by the people?
Open arms.
Yeah.
We love the people down there,
Yeah.
and it was, I think, more influential on us than anything.
Have you noticed an economic benefit so far, that's really helping the people as you're building the relationship with these coffee growers?
Yes. So the coffee shop there, his focus is pouring back into local economy through a coffee processor he knows. He'll go through different processes to get different notes that you would taste, like in Ethiopia, like in South America, all from that one region in Mexico.
Yeah. Didn't mention his name, but Jared Orico in 2019, you built this relationship with Jared. What inspires you most about Jared?
Jared, or we got used to saying his name, Headed. What inspires me most about Headed, he really focuses on bringing up the coffee farmers that don't have the experience to get the most out of their coffee cells. He's working with a coffee farmer. His name is Don Javier, and he's explaining the concepts to pick the cherry a certain way, to process it a certain way, to hand sift through any defects in the beans.
Yeah.
By doing that, Don Javier can go from making 10 cents a kilo profit for himself up to $1 or more.
Now, this is so interesting. Now, I had never heard of this, Rachel, when he was talking about the cells, to be able to get more juices or tell me about this process. All I know is Juan Valdez. Maybe he has a secret to that. I don't know, but tell me about that those cells you're talking about.
Yeah. So to create the coffee you get in your cup, and even to get the green bean that I roast, it's quite a lengthy process. So they'll harvest the red cherry off of the tree. They will go through a fermentation process, and after the fermentation process, they'll let it dry. After the bean dries, another layer of parchment off of the bean flakes off, and then you're left with the green bean that I roast.
Okay.
So after about 6 months of that process, they are able to sell their green coffee to coffee shops, whether it's local in Xalapa or throughout Mexico or here in the United States.
So once a coffee bean is plucked from its branch, okay, and from that to it gets in my cup here when Mr. Ryan does a pour over for me,
right?
What's the process? How long does it take?
months. Like I said, knowing when to pluck the cherry from the tree was also just one of the minor details that Don Javier could do to earn more for his hard work that he does. So the Headed's whole concept down in Xalapa is quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And some of the commercial growers will just get quantity more than anything. But if you focus on the specialty coffee, they'll focus on when to pluck the cherry, how to process the coffee, and it makes a big difference in the cups you drink.
Rachel, have you had an opportunity to travel to Mexico and go to this?
No, I have been told by my friend Savannah, of course, Andrew's wife, that there's a second trip in the works and that I have got to be a part of this. It's very much up in the air, but you know what? You never say never to God, because you never know what he's got planned for you, and you never know what he can do with your yes.
Oh, boy, I love that. Never know what God can do with your yes.
I like that.
And sometimes we're afraid to put that yes out there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we want to do everything perfect. We think that that living, out as a Christian business owner means, that you're guaranteed success. And that's not what it's about.
Yep.
It's about making connections, living out those relationships, and making an impact for the kingdom. And I know that Andrew, he's used his talents that God has given him to impact the people in Xalapa.
Well, I know your husband, Ryan, has a background in the trucking industry.
Yes.
And so there was a point when this proposition of purchasing Happy Glaze, this establishment, and being the new operators, owner-operators, that you had to put your yes on the table too, for that.
Yeah.
That had been a pretty kind of a scary thing.
For sure. Yes. The career that he had known for over a decade, that, he grew up in and rose up in, we had to, at first, we went back and forth on, is this something we need to try to balance on top of his career? And we quickly, as we got in, we realized that if this was going to be something that was successful, it had to have somebody in it every single day, driving the business,
Yes.
Pushing it to be what it could be. And the previous owners, the Johnsons, were amazing at basically holding our hands and being very patient as we decided if this was something that we did indeed have faith to move forward with. Yeah. And eventually we did.
Yeah, I love it. So is there plans throughout the year how many trips you're going to go back to Mexico, or how do you decide that? And especially in today's economy right now where we are, some travel restrictions sometimes. I mean,
Yes.
how has that impacted, traveling back and forth?
Well, we originally planned our trip March of 2020, and of course that got rescheduled.
Obviously, COVID.
Yes. But my vision for 901 Roasted is it'd be a missional coffee, a missional concept where I could go down, build those relationships at least 4 times a year, if
Yeah.
not more.
Now, so are there future ministry goals? Would you look at those to reach the people of Xalapa with the gospel? What are those? I mean, long term, what are some of your goals?
To reach different church plants. I know not only Xalapa, but we have a church partner in Puebla, which is about 2 hours from there. And he's already gotten me in contact with several coffee farmers throughout that region of Mexico that are not connected. They don't have the resources. And being able to provide the resources and the support through 901 Roasted and
Right.
the missions that we can bring to the table would really help those coffee church planters grow in spreading the gospel and change lives in doing that.
Now, the lifestyle of the coffee growers themselves is this mainly family farms?
Yes, it's mainly small farms. When we think of a farm here in the United States, it's acres, and we're driving on the highway and we see rows of cotton or soybeans or whatever. But there, we're walking on the farms, and Don Javier has connections to the commercial farms, and we could see the difference where it is rows and rows and rows, looks beautiful, versus maybe an acre or maybe 2 acres that Don Javier lives on with his with his neighbors. They basically live on a hill and grow the coffee trees and harvest coffee.
Yeah.
So very small.
Now, what is the environment for the coffee plant now? Is it in a good state right now? Weather-wise, are the conditions good? Has there been enough rain, too much rain? You know, those kind of things. I kind of always wondered, you know, the growth of having a healthy farm, what does it take? And where's the farm at today?
The farm today, when we were there about a month ago, they were experiencing a drought, and we could see most of the coffee trees had droopy leaves. But we prayed with Don Javier and Jared on our way out, and I think the day that we left, they received rain, and they are now in the rainy season.
Oh wow!
Praise
So
Lord.
it was a great gospel opportunity to talk with Don Javier about, you know, God makes the bean grow. We give glory to God for the tree that grows and the rain that falls from the sky.
Wow.
So it's not in our control.
I love that. And it is God is in control of our lives. And even if you're, you know, in Xalapa, Mexico, or you're here in Memphis, Tennessee, or you're in Germantown enjoying the Happy Glaze Donuts, God is in control of our lives. And Rachel, this is really a beautiful relationship. And I think it's a great example of the body of Christ. You know, I mean, so often we go to our churches, you know, it's like, hey, how you doing? Doing fine. And then you go about your day and you leave church and it's back to the routine of the week. But this is about the church doing community together, about doing ministry and life together for the glory of Christ. I mean, we are commissioned by the Great Commission, of course, by Jesus, to go into all the world and make disciples of all nations.
Yes.
And this is a perfect example.
I love it. I love it. We, the Bankers and the Davis family and the other families of Living Hope, you know, it's not just we go to church together. We really do life together. We've cried together. We've prayed together. We've rejoiced together as families. And, you know, we celebrate with each other in the good times and we share the burdens when it's tough.
Wow. Wow. That's really so important. And what does that mean for you as you venture into, you know, I mean, not just starting a business, you know, here at the United States, but I mean, the life support of what you do comes from another country.
Yes. Just having the support of our small group, the Davis family, the families around us, is just very encouraging that no matter what happens, we're here for each other.
Yeah.
And we're just living on a mission together, living life together and spreading the gospel and sharing what we see God doing in our lives.
So if you want to drink this delicious coffee from 901 Roasted and let Ryan make you a pour over like I'm enjoying today and right now as we do our show, or if you wanted to buy a bag as beans are already ground, can you do that?
Yes, you can, here at Happy Glaze or online, 901roasted.com.
And so you can stop by. And we want to give the address and information, too. I've got it all written down here. I'm going to move my papers around. But Happy Glaze is located here in Germantown, 7781 Farmington Boulevard, Suite 101, right here in Germantown. And we're right next door. I'm looking out the window here, and I can see Kroger up the hill.
Yep.
The fire department is across the street. The post office is across the street here in Germantown. You can't miss it. And so you need to come and buy this coffee because you're helping support the work that you're doing in Xalapa, Mexico.
Yes.
And getting the gospel out. This church, this Acts 29 church.
Yes.
So come buy coffee.
Come on.
And so
right.
what are some of the flavors or variety that you can come by? We talked about the specialty coffee. Is that in the bag?
Yes, we have the specialty coffee here. We have a different Mexican origin, also a Colombian, and a Nicaraguan right now.
Nicaraguan coffee is good too. I spent some
very
time there a couple years ago and,
wow.
and really for 10 days. And so that's the only word I could say is cafe. And I said, I could say that. And I drank some really good coffee. But Rachel, again, the Happy Glaze Donuts, we want to remind our friends, you can come and experience these unique donuts. They're mini donuts. They're just the perfect size. They're basically about 1 to 1.5 inches in size. You got these unique toppings. They come off hot and fresh, and they're made to order. They're not in like a window or a case when you go by and you point and say, I want that one and that one and that one. they make them while you wait. Matter of fact, a lady is standing by the register now. Ryan is
right.
over by the donut making machine, and he's making fresh donuts as we speak. And I don't know what topping that she chose, but there's flavors like the Fruity Pebbles, the Oreo coffee and lemon, the s'mores, and of course the cinnamon roll. And you got to get Rachel's twist on the cinnamon roll and enjoy that. But your hours. When are you open, Rachel?
We are open daily, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Friday and Saturday nights, actually, this summer, we started some new evening hours because donuts are not just for the morning.
No, they're not.
They're for dessert, too.
And you have a website here at Happy Glaze.
We do, yes. Happyglaze.com. You can actually just, if you type in, donutworry.com, you'll find Happy
yes.
Glaze. Yeah.
And
social media.
And if Ryan is waiting for big orders. So if you've got a group of people you want to entertain with donuts, anywhere from 200 to 500 people, and you want to give them all a nice box of Happy Glaze donuts in a variety of flavors, Ryan is ready here to make those donuts.
Yeah, we actually just dropped off 75 boxes of donuts this morning to Best Care Home Services. So.
That's a beautiful gift. And Andrew, if folks want information more about 901 Roasted, what's the website?
901roasted.com.
Okay, that makes it easy. You're also on Facebook, too.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram.
And we want our friends to pray for the work there in Xalapa, Mexico, and the continued growth of the church and the gospel going forth. This is beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing me into this happy place. This has been a great time.
We're so glad you're here, Byron.
Thank you so much. Well, friends, that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid-South Viewpoint. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Byron Tyler, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.